Hello everybody, it is Orion and today we are doing a tutorial of Van Helsing New Game Speedrun. I am currently the world record holder in all major categories, so we'll just get into it. As we go through it, I'll be explaining what's going on, and I'll probably slow things down a little bit just so you can get an idea. And then you can see in the world record runs that I've posted what things look like all together. A couple of things to note: I'm still working on some targeting, since there is a manual targeting function that I found that I haven't done anything with yet, which might make some parts of the run a little easier. Actually, we'll come back here. Just start over. So, in the beginning, you walk up here, you trigger a cutscene, you skip the cutscene, it'll roll. You roll over here, you jump up, grapple to the ledge, roll 3 more times, grapple over here, try to jump. That jump's pretty easy. I found out you can miss some of the other jumps later on. It doesn't happen that often, but it can happen. So here we have Mr. Hyde. You press L1 to switch to your alternate ammunition. You fill up by doing attacks, and for this fight you just hit your alternate pistols, you use them up, and then you shoot him some more, and he dies. Nothing too fancy there. For the armory, you collect power glyphs throughout the run. We don't go out of our way to pick any up, but you end up with about 1,000 over the course of the run, and you want to use these to buy life replenishers and ammo replenishers later on, depending on how you need them. I'm still figuring out the proper times to use them, since I think in this first boss that we come to afterwards, it can be a little dangerous, and you can use a life replenisher if you need to, as you can only hold 3, and if you don't use one there, you're probably gonna find 2 or 3 that you don't need. You can't pick them up. So here we're just rolling through the village. We jump down. Oh, I rolled the wrong way. Roll over here. Activate this thing, skip the cutscene, roll back over here. Jump up, and jump up again, and jump up again. Skip the cutscene. This is one of the jumps that I can mess up. We didn't, so we're good. Roll this way, and we're gonna come through here. This cutscene you can't skip until it switches to the camera angle of the windmill when he turns around. And it's going to give us another tutorial about dodging. Doesn't really matter. For these guys, you're going to press R1 to lock on, and then hit them with melee, so it kills them faster than pistols. Now we've built up a little bit of ammunition, so I'm going to go ahead and use that here. And it's going to give us another tutorial. Hit that. Roll over here. Beat them up. Maybe. Pick up this life replenisher, pick that up. We're gonna come on over here. You could take those glyphs if you wanted to. It's like half a second, probably. It's not that big a deal. So rolling is not always super reliable in where you're rolling to. If you roll into an enemy, it's usually faster to just jump over them instead of trying to roll around, because anything that hits a collision or a hitbox, you will get stuck on. You can't roll around it. Roll here, we jump up here. Normally you'd walk further out on the path and then take the stairs, but that's slow. And I won't be doing everything like perfectly quickly, as this is a tutorial how to do it than anything else. Skip the cutscene, come up here. All you have to do is hold R1. If you see this, I guess I can't really show you, but in the top right, you have to the pistol and melee weapon, and then the other icon is your grapple icon. It lights up red when there's a point you can grapple to, as you can see. So you just run over there and you grapple to it. Pick up a shotgun, you run over here, you open the door. You skip the cutscene, and now we're in another boss fight with Solomon Grundy, is who I choose to believe. Just jump over him and stomps. Other than that, just roll away from him and keep shooting as needed. If you get grabbed, he will grab you. Frankenstein will grab you later on. And Velkin, the werewolf boss, will grab you as well. If they grab you, you just mash square and shoot them. If you deal enough damage, they'll drop you. If not, it doesn't really matter much. And sometimes you get hit. It'd be like that. Another note, when you start a boss fight, you'll want to wait like half a second after it starts, because if you try to target and just start firing, Van Helsing won't lock onto them and he'll just shoot at whatever you're facing towards. Not a huge issue, but it is important to keep in mind. So we're going to grapple this bridge down, skip the cutscene, roll across. Smash. I guess you don't actually have to mash X and get the timing down. Here is a life bar increaser. Normally, we wouldn't go out of our way to pick it up. But later on, when you come back through this area, if you pick up the life bar increaser, it will spawn an ammo replenisher, which are very useful. Make boss fights go a little faster, and we really like that on some of the later ones. Here we have and now they're dead. We have to wait for 2 more to spawn in. After that, we will shotgun that door. No, that's wrong. Switch to the shotgun, open the door, come on through, skip the cutscene, roll to the left, see that red lift, that's where you want to go to. Jump up here, take the grapple point, jump up again, come through this door, switch to the pistol, and we're fighting the Harpies. For this fight, you just stick to the pistols. It's the fastest way to do it. Verona is usually the first one to die. Why? That's just the targets first. That attack that Marishka, I think that's no, that's the first attack. That attack that Marishka does hits you once, and then you can just stand in and it doesn't hit you anymore. The purple lightning. And now. Skip the cutscene, skip the armory. And here we have a library, the hidden door. Okay, we didn't get it. Alright, so like this little pillar that you right here is what you want to walk to. You press circle to activate it, and that'll trigger the cutscene to open the door. I'm gonna roll down here, and now we're gonna pick up the crossbow. I'm gonna skip all of this. I'm gonna ignore everything. Keep on rolling. Missed it. Oh, interesting. I've never missed that roll before. There were some glyphs hidden up there, which I jumped and hit, which made them fall down, which I've also never gotten before because I've never jumped up there. There are hidden areas like that throughout the game. Doesn't really matter as far as I can tell. Here we have one of my least favorite parts. These owls are a huge pain in the ass. And also up here is a life replenisher and an ammo replenisher. You want to pick those up because in a minute you're going to come back. They do respawn. And I might die here. What you want to do is you'll trigger the owls. Why is he dropping a shot? Okay, we're gonna die. These are the worst, probably the worst enemy in the game because of this part. That's why we like picking up the ammo and life replenishers. On top of them being useful, it gets the owls away from that little button that you have to trigger with the crossbow. It's not really easy to shoot it, because if you try to target, then you just get hit by the owls. You target the owls, because that's what it does, and we hit it first try. It's not that hard to hit, it's just if you don't get it and you get someone, then you're probably just gonna die. Skip this cutscene. Now we can kill 4 banshees. We're gonna switch back to the pistols. Get enough. We're gonna switch to it. Kill them. It drops the wall. You roll over. And skip the cutscene. Oh, that's not a cutscene, just kidding. Next, cutscene's coming. We're gonna jump over that because we ran into this hitbox. Jump onto this, grapple up here, jump up here, grapple again, roll. This next part's not horrible to do on New Game, but in New Game Plus, when you have unlimited speed activated, it can be more of a pain in the ass. And we have to do it 2 times in the run, and sometimes you just miss the jumping up there at top. This jump isn't the bad, the one after. Out to see if we ever make it. Now they're swarmed. Oh, Helsing. There you go. Hit that, you knock it down. Sometimes you can like swing, and depending on your positioning, you can swing yourself off the edge, or they can hit you off. You just saw. Okay, we're just gonna kill them. Normally you don't kill them, you skip them. It's slow. So, for the purpose of getting this done, just kill them. I've never had problems with this until yesterday when I was doing it. All the days that I spent practicing, this went perfectly. But you just want to hop once and then move your analog stick a little bit forward to get onto the statue, and then you want to try walking across. You can fall off of it, and that really fucking sucks. So don't fall off of it, take it slow, unless you really need to be super fast. Jump up here, jump up here. Oh, that moved really well. A lot of times I don't get that jump the first time because the angle for it, like where you are on the cliff ledge, is not like it's an invisible wall. It doesn't land you on the next platform. You have to like jump around it. So now we have Igor. When we fight him, we want to jump up here, press R1 to lock onto him, and then you just spam triangle. And you should get, if you're lucky, you'll get a little over half of his HP. Me, we're not lucky, and I'm going to use my life replenisher here so I don't die. That would be bad. And then you just shoot him, spam your pistols, build up some ammo, spend the ammo. Okay. Great. This is not going super well, but he's dead, and that's the important thing. Now I believe we are Castle Frankenstein. Prince Falcon. Oh no, I always forget this part. Jump back up here, grab the ammo, grab the life, back down, all the way, roll down here, keep on rolling, roll over here. There's another life increaser, which we could pick up, but it's not that important. Come this way. And here we will have Velkin, who will show up in just a second. When he spawns, you can't hit him for, like... Oh, that's actually pretty good. I'm gonna have to look at that. So, normally when he spawns in like that, I've never been grabbed by him before. He always just loads in. You have to wait for him to do an animation before you can hit him. I think it's probably slow to get grabbed because right where he spawns, up here where we got the life bar increaser earlier, is the ammo replenisher, and if you finish him and trigger his cutscene to run away before then, you spawn like down here and you have to run back to pick up the replenisher. And that's more of a time loss than not getting grabbed by him and just waiting for the animation to play while you go grab the ammo replenisher. Here he is again. He spawns on the other end of that fountain, so you have to roll over here first before you hit him. And then you do that. And roll this way. And now we have Falcon 3. And activate your ultimate ammunition and fire away. As you'll notice with a lot of bosses, you can just hold the pistols and walk backward and they won't hit you. Castle Frankenstein, and here we have another life increaser, and that should be your life increasers. Jump over them. You can, if their positioning is good enough, you can roll past them instead of jumping. I think rolling is slightly faster, but just not getting stuck on them is all you really need. We have a Banshee, we have a Skipper, we have another one. This fancy little door that's not triggering at all. Okay, interesting. It was like sitting right up on the door and it wouldn't open. We're gonna roll over here. Door. And here we have one of the worst parts of the game, casually. The Dwarger! So right now we've got 500 glyphs, which is enough to buy... Oh, did I? Okay, I did. In the Igor fight, I forgot to mention, after you get him to spawn to another part of the map. When you beat him up, you drop down, you run over the grate and grab the speed boost. We don't use it till later in the game, and we are going to get a second one here in a little bit. They make you move and shoot faster by 20%. And that's the end of that. So we roll over to this door, switch the crossbow, and we're going to shoot this if Van Helsing would like to cooperate. Roll over this way. And we're going to jump up here. Roll this way. Maybe. As I said, rolling isn't always reliable, especially when you're rolling around corners. We're going to grapple this way. We're going to miss the jump. I'm a god. I believe, yes, you can jump up off the ledge if you miss it. And then you want to jump this way. I think I should have gone across the bridge first. We're going to pick up the ultimate shotgun and a speed boost. That is the second and final speed boost we'll be acquiring in this run. And we didn't get hit or anything like that. So you got to skip all of those. I don't know how many of them spawn. It's a lot. I died a couple of times when I was doing this casually. Blow that open with the ultimate shotgun and you roll through the door. And then we're gonna run this this way. I don't know if you actually need the alternate shotgun to get through there. I'm pretty sure you do, because I don't know why else you have to go through all of that section. But then again, you can skip an entire portion of this level in New Game Plus because of another item that you'll start with that we're going to pick up now. Also, we need the alternate shotgun for 1 or 2 fights later on. It makes them faster, so picking it up is not. It's a time save. We go down the elevator. You can't skip elevator trigger cutscenes. That's just how the game works. Now, jump over here. We're going to have the pistol. I think I haven't found out the perfect way to do the next fight that we have to go through. But you roll this way through the door. And you roll this way. And some Dorgers spawn. And you ignore them. You get hit by them. You can go through that door. We'll be back here in a minute. It's very likely to die on this part because if you're trying to grapple up here, you're usually going to get hit by one of the Dorger axes. They just throw one at you. You skip this cutscene and you get swarmed by a bunch of bats. You want to roll here and come up here, grab the lightning gun, and now fire and roll. You can dodge cancels. The aiming isn't super consistent. You'll miss occasionally. It's kind of frustrating, but that's just the nature of Van Helsing. The Vatican didn't complete all Oh, drop the health. So because of how low your HP is in this section usually, you're kind of just praying that one of them will drop health glyphs off kill, because otherwise you're a sad panda. We're going to switch to our pistols, and that should make the rest of this pretty easy. You could probably just switch to the pistols after you fill up the bar with the lightning gun, but I'm not sure. It's noticeably faster. I'm going to jump this way, the door, switch back to the lightning gun. And if we're lucky... Oh, they didn't even spawn. Nice. We hit the switch with the lightning gun, we come back. You have to press R1 to aim at it. That activates this platform. And now we're going to go fight Dracula. This is another fight where you kind of just equip the pistols, hold R1, and walk backward to avoid his attacks, or sideways, or whatever. And then, yeah, I didn't have any camera angle, so I didn't see him charging up to that. That's the one attack that you have to, like, actually do to dodge. You have to jump, or otherwise you get hit. Jumping is the only way to dodge it. But it's not too bad. I have no idea why he teleported all the way over there. Just I guess there was some dust on the wall, maybe. And he's dead. Well, he's not dead, but he's not alive. And now we're in Frankenstein's cave. Jump up here, equip the lightning gun. I think there are 10 of these. You have to kill them. Oh. Jump up here, you don't need that grapple. You do have to grapple up here. And now there is also an ammo replenisher. So for the Dracula fight, you actually can you should use an ammo replenisher in the beginning just to get the fight done a little faster. I just wasn't thinking about it. So So then you go there, you come into this room, grapple over here. You have to grapple to the right first, so you can pick up the ultimate crossbow. Unfortunately, I have a full ammo bar. Just skip the rest of this. I don't have to shoot anything. Grapple over here, jump up here. Not that way, not that way. Hold this way, Van Helsing, please. Come over here. And we do some more rolls. Jump, roll, and grapple over there. Jump up here, switch to our crossbow. Wrong way. That's how this game works. Come on. Ultimate crossbow over here. Now we're fighting Frankenstein. And you want to use your ultimate crossbow. You run out of ammo. You want to switch back. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, that's not what I... Oh, we got that. You want to switch to pistols, because they fill the ammo bar the fastest. Oh, okay. Switch back to crossbow. And I died. Super. Happens sometimes. I expected to die there after how that beginning started when he hit me. Usually he doesn't, but I was bad. Not perfect gameplay. You want to jump to avoid those. If you're stuck in a dodge roll animation when he does it, you're gonna get hit, but it's not that big of a deal. Usually. Another part of this fight, or how this fight goes, also depends on if the burning skulls in the cavern before where you pick up the ultimate crossbow hit you a bunch of times or not. They did hit me a couple of times, and so not bad. And now we want to switch back to the lightning gun. We're gonna have 8 bats that we need to kill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other 2 spawn in the waterfall. And now we just roll this way. Jump up here, take your grapple point, jump. Some more bats will spawn, but you can ignore them. Jump up here. This area that we just rolled into would normally be closed off if you don't kill the 8 bats in the beginning. Then it opens up. Come into this cave, and here we're going to pick up the dual swords. If I can roll right. Skip the cutscene, jump over rock. Where did I go? Nice. You want to come over here, and then jump up here. There's another life increaser, like right. Where is it? Yeah, right there on this edge that you can pick up. I don't care that much. We're not going to get it. You can come over here. So, also to note, you can use the life replenisher on Frankenstein if you need to, since you'll also have an extra one cross. Just roll up, and we want to put the shotgun, and ultimate shotgun, and kill the dogs. Go here. Come out here. Jump up. Jump on the right. Jump up again. And then one more time. On the left, rather. Jump up on the left. Jump up there. Come over here. We're going to do some more rolling. Over here is another ammo increaser. So we're actually going to spend one now. Up. Next flight goes faster. And then you can jump up onto the wall and you can hit the door trigger in the jump. So we're going to start with the shotgun. You're going to dodge cancel. Oh, that was really slow. Die. That's actually, since I have it, we'll just use the Life Replenisher. Yeah, when he jumps, there's like a 2 second. You have to wait not a second and a half or 2 seconds to roll once or hit you. But the timing for that doesn't too hard to get used to. You want to get handlebar filled up, and shoot him, and then pistols, fill it up. Just waiting, running around. We're not going to switch to the shotgun because you'll miss and you don't want to get close to him, so we'll just keep the pistols going for that. You finish him off, skip that, come over here, skip this cutscene, pray that you don't get hit by these wolves, because if you get hit by the wolves, that's alright. We're just gonna have a bunch of really shitty wolves. You're gonna come in here and switch to the shotgun if you need it, because okay, we're not gonna use that right now, but come on, charge it up. Not good. There we go. We got a Life Replenisher. I'm gonna miss everything. Roll up here. And then we're gonna have another group of dogs that we're going to avoid getting hit by. Not. Roll in here. And I'm gonna die because it wouldn't let me get past the wolves. You want to go to that elevator, and then you have to press R1. I don't know why aiming is required to trigger the elevator, but it is. We still got Life Replenisher. We do. Good to know. No, alright. It just ate my input to go out, and I accidentally went into the inventory menu again and used the Life Replenisher. So, probably I would just want to die here. I might die anyway. We finally got the trigger. Come in here. You roll up this way. We're gonna grab this life bar increaser because why not? And we're gonna have Dracula to switch to pistols. And up, I did the wrong thing. And just like the first time, dodge all of the attacks. Okay, and I died because I jumped into an ice meteor and then got hit by his sword. It happens sometimes. Dying in this game is not super punishing because it just sends you back to the room you were in previously. And you're at full HP. Pretty solid overall. It's a lot harder to see when he's doing the sword animation in this one. It's really clear to see when he's doing it, but like... And, okay. Got a good orange attacks. He's got one attack that you really don't want to see, which is like, he shoots a bunch of little ice projectiles out, and they like circle around and they home in on you, and usually die when that happens. Sometimes you can kill him before he even like teleports to the wall and starts doing a second phase. I don't know why, I just do. But now we're gonna kill 2 enemies in this level. They're at the end, so we get to skip it all. These first 2 rooms are probably the worst. This one in particular because of all the dwarger, but we just jump past them. Fortunately, they didn't all stick on me and make me sad. You want to pick up the alternate electric gun ammunition for the end of the run. We're not going to use it before then. Now we have to roll this way. Miss it. Just dodging this game almost 100% of the time, the way you want to. And we're gonna keep Bonk on. If depending on like where your roll takes you, sometimes the enemy will spawn in front of you. If it spawns in front of you, just jump over it. Otherwise, you keep rolling. Trigger this elevator. We want to switch to our swords if they're not already equipped, because randomly when you open, okay, they are. When you open the weapon wheel to switch weapons, sometimes it changes your melee weapon, and it's random whether it opens on the melee portion or the portion selection. I kill these two. That's the only time we need the swords. Originally, I didn't pick up the swords, and these two were a giant pain in the ass to fight, because the Tojo blades, which are your default melee weapon, are not the greatest at hitting things. As you might have noticed earlier when I was trying to hit that enemy on the ground in the first section that we had to kill everything, and I missed like 2 or 3 times. But now we've got the Verona kill. We just want to keep our pistols equipped. When you do that, you want to try and jump over it, or you can go wherever it spawned. Usually to the right and avoid it. This is a really bad RPG. Valera lights the ground on fire. It's a bad time. I have no idea what Verona just did. It wasn't an attack. It kind of looked like she was charging something and then never threw it. I've never seen her do the end of that animation. Apparently she just flies forward and does nothing. But that's that. Verona's dead. And now we have Velkin again. So shoot him up. Not only jump that way, those days. We're going to switch the shotgun, pop this life replenisher, dodge, start. Okay. And we didn't. Oh, when you get picked up, regardless of whatever weapon you have equipped, it'll switch to pistols, and it will keep you on altered fire if you have it activated. And then when you get put back down, it will immediately switch back. There we go. Just slow. I'll go ahead and grab a life replenisher here. Least favorite level in the game. I really go back and forth. I'd probably have to rank this boss and the next boss evenly in how much I hate them. They both suck. This one sucks because it's really long, and if you die, you're really sad. For this particular cutscene, you have to walk forward first, and then the actual cutscene, you can skip triggers. And apparently, if you're not fast enough jumping down, those bats come. That's never happened to me before, because I never would. Anyway, skip them, you grapple up there, come this way. And we're back to the statue jump, except this time it's Archangel statues. That's what I didn't know. We're gonna jump up here, and we're gonna get it. First try. You have to be very careful in this part because they can hit you up here and they can knock you off the statue. It doesn't happen almost ever, but it is a possibility. Yeah, we have my least favorite enemy in the game. And we're gonna get spawn camp. Nice. Amazing. I can't even roll. There we go. Oh, get fucked. Didn't even die. Igor Part 2. For this one, you just stand here and you shoot your pistols at him. This is the fastest way to do it. I've tried several ways. We're gonna pop a life replenisher. I suppose in this case, I could have either, since I was like 1 hit from dying, we could have taken a death at the beginning of the fight instead of using the replenisher, since it wouldn't have lost that much time. And then you'll just drop that sometimes. It doesn't do any damage, it just drains your ammunition. Apparently jumping is a great way to avoid the majority of his attacks. Yeah, I spent like probably 40 minutes just dying or restarting this fight, trying to figure out what the fastest way to kill him was. This is the best. If somebody decides to really get into this game and they find a better way of doing it, I'm all for it. This fucking sucks. Fortunately, it's really hard to die. Unless you get, like, caught in multiple... I guess... I can't really call them stun locks. But they're like when he throws the bombs at you. The only one that does, like, massive amounts of damage is... the cluster bomb if it hits you before it splits up. Here, you skip the cutscene, you roll up here, you can, like, double jump at the edge of the cliff where you walk up, and you can save a minor amount of time by saving 2 steps. We're gonna roll this way, hopefully jump over that, hit the door trigger. You have to press circle to hit doors and interact with things, by the way. You don't just walk into it. Now we have to kill these ladies. I'm not sure what the action or fastest way is, because as you can see, the lightning gun, it does not like to hit its target if it's right next to it. But we kill them. It doesn't matter which one of these vents you drop down. We should have enough glyphs now, right? It's not going to show me, is it? What if I press? Okay, we have exactly 500. That's all we need. We're going to drop down here. Least favorite part of this level because it's really random. This part really shows you how bad the hitboxes are in this game because of how inconsistent this trigger is. This one is going pretty well, but now we have to kill this more. Yeah. Yeah, see, there we go. Any day, babies. It randomly, it's not consistent what part of this trigger will work. Sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll like get to shoot it all 5 times in a row and you won't get interrupted by any enemies. It happens fairly often enough, but other times you get like that, where we had to kill everything and trigger, because that's how they programmed the game. We have another elevator we can't skip, so we're just gonna take a ride. Come this way, and let's see if no, we're gonna get it slow. When you're rolling around corners often like this, sometimes he'll just decide he's gonna be stuck on the wall and you'll get short rolls, and at that point it's just faster to run. But there we got pretty lucky. We're gonna grapple up here, we're gonna not miss this jump, we're gonna come over here. If you miss that jump, it's a massive time loss, because you fall all the way back down, you have to drop into the steam room again, and then go back up the elevator, it's a whole thing. Fortunately, aside from this monument statue that you knock down and the platform that it sits on, you can't just fall off of whatever edge you're on, you have to jump. But now we pick up the Gatling gun, and you press R1 to trigger the elevator, because that's a mechanic they added in for whatever reason. Come over here, blow open the door with the Gatling gun, and roll. There is a life bar increaser over there. Not really important. Doesn't really matter. Come in here. roll over here, and then so in this part, you're going to want to go to the left, but when you roll over here, it actually becomes your down direction is where you want to go. You come through the door, and then you're in a room full of blood. Hot. And you want to take the grapple point on the left here, because for whatever reason, the right one doesn't work. You grapple up to it, and you immediately fall off. You grapple 3 times, you roll over here, you grapple here, you roll again. Twice, you hit this grapple point, you roll over here, you hit the grapple point, you roll up the stairs, or not. And we are on a big bridge with some statues that are going to come to life. We don't like that. We're going to roll past them. You can't roll through, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the way the hitbox is set up or what, you can't go through the statues. There's like this much space that you can move through in the hitbox, but if you roll to the side over here, it's perfect. You just get through like you think you can. But now we have my other least favorite boss in the game, Alira, because she does a lot of damage. Some of her attacks are really, you really don't want her to do them because you have to spend a bunch of time dodging. Right now it's going pretty well. But you want to use the Gatling gun. You can actually use a speed boost either on her or on Igor 2, the boss before this. But I didn't because I'm lazy and wasn't doing it. Oh, yeah, you want her to do either the wings slap or you want her to charge. This one's not bad, it doesn't happen. And she's dead. That went really well. Sometimes you just keep on dying on this fight. Don't know why. It just sucks. She does a bunch of damage. And we're gonna roll up here. We have, I think, 5, but I don't know if it changes in hard mode. We're gonna find out. But I believe there's 5 of these enemies that you have to kill. But first we wanna trigger our alternate ammo, lightning gun, open this switch, and now we have the alternate Gatling gun. Switch back to the Gatling gun. Remember to turn... Okay, is it going to let me continue? Thank you. We're going to switch to the Gatling gun. We're going to turn off the alternate ammunition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So in easy mode, at least, there are 5 of them. I think in hard, there are 6. Also, it's not really consistent because I remember there being 6 when I did my hard mode run yesterday, but the end of the game said that I killed 6 total enemies in this level, but then normally it says 6 enemies and I only killed 5. So I assumed it counted the final boss, but it's weird. I'll figure it out later. Fortunately, we did not get stuck on the wall, and we had good rolls, but he decided he was going to roll the other way. So that's what Van Helsing does. That's what the Vatican's done for. It really is random. I was holding the same direction to go with the camera angle, and he still rolled the other way. Jump down here, skip the cutscene, jump into the pit. And now we have Demon Dracula. This is the final boss, and time is when you get the last shot. So we're going to immediately hope that he doesn't hit us. He spawns in like that. That was not. Okay, we're gonna come here, hit an ammo replenisher, hit a speed boost. That's the only speed boost we're gonna need for the last 15 seconds. Okay, nope, go back to that, come back here, hit another ammo replenisher. Time is on that last shot. Time is also starts when you select your difficulty. So when you're starting a new game from the menu, you'll have the menu select and you'll hit time at the same time. When you're doing a new game plus run, you have to load in from the last new game plus run you were doing. You have to load that level, and you have to go through here and kill Dracula, and then you have to wait for the end credits. You can skip this, but I like this cutscene. Then it gives you the credits. They're unskippable, and it's like 3 minutes. And you have to wait for it, or else you can't start a New Game Plus run. It really sucks.
You didn't actually think I would let you
Actually,
kill me again, did you?
if I could find a way to do manual saves,
Your time is up, my
then
angel.
you would be able to start a New Game Plus run and then have a save file at the very beginning, and you would just load, like when you press the load for that is when time would start. But I haven't been able to figure it out. I think like when I first loaded this game, it gave me the option, and then every time after that it told me to fuck off.
Don't you understand?
And since I chose auto-saving, it just auto-saves everything. So that's the only thing I have to mess
You've been
with.
used, Gabriel. As was I. But I escaped. And so can you.
This part of the cutscene's okay. It's really what happens afterward that I really like. Also, I have no idea why
Things are best left forgotten.
Van Helsing just decides to transform back into a human, give him the one-liner, and just jump off. Ended that thing. Here it is. Here it comes.
The antidote! She is dead.
Unceremoniously. 5 seconds after. She is dead.
I killed her.
And then Frankenstein repeats a line to him that Van Helsing told him after you beat the shit out of him in his cave. And it's a whole thing, but that's the end of Van Helsing. That is the New Game run. Hopefully this was a fairly informative tutorial. There's really not a whole lot going on with it. It's just a lot of optimization and doing things faster. I think world record is 43 seconds. I did it yesterday, and I haven't uploaded anything, but I'm gonna check my notes. New Game world record is 45 minutes and 54 seconds. New Game Plus Easy is 25 minutes and 37 seconds. New Game Plus Hard is 29 minutes and 47 seconds. And Hat Percent is 49 minutes and 52 seconds. There will also be a Hatless Percent that I will get around to at some point. Hat Percent, I think I want to have those on New Game Easy. Either that or New Game Plus. New Game Plus Easy or New Game Plus Hard. I don't know which difficulty it is best to run them on, because Hat Percent and Hatless Percent are meme runs, where Hat Percent is you have to complete every level with your hat on, and every time your hat gets knocked off, you wear a hat when you're doing the run. When you start with the hat on, when your hat gets knocked off, you pause the game, you take your hat off. You eventually pick up the hat again, and then you pause the game to put the hat back on, because otherwise it just turns into a cycle of you dying and getting beat up and the boss knocking your hat off again. So you pause the game to put it on and off. Hatless Percent is the same thing except in reverse. Every level you don't want to complete with your hat, so you have to get it knocked off. You start with your hat on, they knock your hat off, you take the hat off, and then you just complete the level. And then when you spawn into the next mission with your hat back on, you put your hat on, you get your hat knocked off, you put your hat... Pretty simple. There's nothing super special going on with it. In order to get the New Game Plus run set up, you need unlimited ammo, which you can only do by completing hard mode. But you can do New Game Plus hard mode, and you have the Gatling gun, and you run through it with Gatling gun. It's just slightly slower. But then in that run in the New Game Plus run where you get the Gatling gun, there is an area when I think it's Mission 5, Castle Frankenstein, when you first enter the courtyard with the carriages on, like, over to the right side, and the doorway that you enter before you fight all the Dorger. When you're getting the alternate shotgun in that courtyard, if you run to the end to the other gates, there's a tree that will have a grapple point hidden, so you won't see it, but your icon will flash red. You grapple up there, and then you shoot the wall open with the Gatling gun, and that unlocks the unlimited speed boost cheat, which you use for New Game Plus. And that's Van Helsing. It's pretty fun. It's kind of annoying sometimes the way that the movement works, but I think that's just part of the charm. It is 2004 PS2, so it's not going to be super optimized. And it's not like 45 minutes. Like, any of these world records aren't unbeatable. There's slight optimizations, and then things that just didn't go as well for me in the runs that could be done. If you had a perfect run, eventually you could get an unbeatable record, but I don't know if that's ever actually going to happen. Kind of depends on who picks the game up. I hope more people do, and we can get a whole community of us. Right now, as far as I know, I'm the only active runner. There is the other guy who posted a world record run, but it was for New Game Plus, and it was 5 hours, which is what made me want to do this in the first place, because it was free. And then the game turned out to not be so bad. I don't know if he's going to come back to playing this game or what. So far, I've sent him one message where I told him that I was going to submit some stuff for other categories and the New Game Plus category. And he said, cool, I'll open up a topic for other category suggestions. And that's been the extent of our communication. But now I'm gonna edit these videos to cut out the unnecessary stuff at the beginning and the end. Actually, I think a lot of them, I started the recording after the run, like a couple of seconds, because I realized I didn't hit record. And restarting New Game Plus runs doesn't work right now because of how difficult it is to actually get one going, just technically speaking. But if you complete a New Game Plus run, you're going to want to save the new character that you're starting the next New Game Plus run in a different file than the one that you completed the New Game Plus run on. So that way you'll have a New Game Plus run that's at the Demon Dracula fight, and you just have to kill him, and then watch the end credits, and then you can start a new run. Until I figure out manual saving, that's pretty much it. That is Van Helsing. Thank you for watching. You can follow me, Twitch, at Orion6347. I will leave a link in the description. Right now we're doing this game. I play Eternal, which is an online card game. Usually I do that Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm still ironing out the stream schedule once again because things keep changing, as they tend to do. And I will be starting some work as a Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus speedrunner this week. So we'll be doing more stuff for that. Hopefully that won't be too rough. That community's pretty good. I've been talking to a lot of the people, watching them play it. It is a good game from my past, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll see you there.